Thank you to PlayOn for sponsoring this preview. I've been given the opportunity to play Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 early thanks to the folks over at PlayOn, and I have my fair share of things to say about it in regards to what you as a potential player have to look forward to with its release on February 4th in less than a month. Don't worry though, there will be no spoilers or major story implications in this preview, so by the time the release date rolls around, there will still be plenty of surprises in store. So let's get to the nitty-gritty and see just what everyone is in store for once this title releases on Steam, Epic Store, PlayStation 5, and Xbox Series. Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 aims to be a very ambitious sequel that attempts to take everything that the original game did and elevate it to a level that might not have been thought possible with the previous entry back in 2018. By offering you, the player, an immersive experience into the civil unrest of 15th century Bohemia as you follow the life of a man named Henry. Since this title is making its way onto our consoles and PC in the year 2025, that's a good 7-year gap between games. Usually, this can spell disaster for specific titles that don't have a long-standing reputation to be able to pull it off. However, with Deliverance 2, in this case, the developers at Warhorse Studios decided, you know what, heck with it all, let's go for broke. And go for broke they have with this buffed-up sequel by setting you off on an adventure in a world that is twice as large as the original game's map and further expands its historical authenticity to the mix that offers you a variety of scenery from bustling cities that are crowded with life, large-scale interactive environments, the robust forests of Bohemia, and choices you have Henry make on this journey end up being what shapes this once humble and laid-back blacksmith son to turn into a full-fledged warrior that tiptoes between the rights and wrongs of medieval politics and all-out warfare. Yes, politics are actually fun for once. Who would have thought that would be possible? Changes to the map aren't the only thing to be on the lookout for, because Warhorse not only improved the game and size department, also tweaked many of the mechanics that players took issue with in the original game, such as the combat to some people feeling just a tad bit stiff and wonky. However, here in the sequel, that's been rectified, and it is now much more intuitive, smooth, and reactionary, but still retains its level of difficulty and strategy at the same time. So definitely an all-around win there so far. But what about the gameplay itself in this entry, you ask? Well, let's dive into that too while we're here. In Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, the game strikes a balance between trying to keep an authentic historical accuracy and using engaging gameplay to entice you as the player to stay interested, but at the same time, attempt to avoid their giant enemy crab moment as we have seen games end up doing in the past when they have strayed too far from their vision. Using weaponry such as early firearms for that era of combat, alongside weapons like crossbows, definitely give it a fun strategic depth that allows for better flexibility for each person to choose their own style of combat more freely without feeling like you're forced to play in one specific style only. Want to slice and dice? Go for it. Want to just blast someone away? Heck, sure, why not? Shoot someone in the knee with an arrow to make sure they'll never be an adventurer like you know? Then pew pew away, because nearly everything is a possibility here. Whether for strategic sake or comedic sake, it's your choice. Combat this go-around feels less cumbersome and weighted down, if that makes sense. In the previous game, the combat wasn't bad per se, it just didn't feel as refined as it should have been, and it felt like something was missing. A few more tweaks really were needed.
No! I don't want to die! Shit! Shit! Run!
Thankfully, in the sequel, it was one of the major things addressed due to the complaints thrown at the devs, and here now in Deliverance 2, the combat is way more straightforward, streamlined, and being able to block and turning that into a parry against your enemy for faster and more efficient combat is much easier to complete this go-around. But at the same time, while it's easier to achieve, the timing is still a bit of a challenge, so it's not exactly a cakewalk to fully master either. You will die several times trying to perfect the parrying system, even with the easy-to-learn, harder-to-master game design. But at least you won't be like me and rush someone with all the confidence in the world, screaming your war cry with all your heart, then get embarrassed in front of everyone and get slain with ease because you got a little too confident in your own skills. Oh well, at least there's no way for me to crash and burn in this game like I do with all other vehicles and games, so that's definitely a plus.
Place to rest when you're past life.
Everything would be wonderful.
One
Are you freaking kidding me? How do you crash a horse? On the subject of combat, however, not my mishaps, the game also has you balance out a skill and perk system that's expanded far beyond what you may have been used to in the first game, with a system that's been almost rebooted in a way by offering you more options that more heavily impact choices you make without head-scratching side grades you experience in the previous game. And by expanding the skill and perk system, it enhances player enjoyment and satisfaction by making each system feel more personable in relation to your own character development, which goes a long way with replayability and immersion. But what good are map changes and combat changes without the glue that holds those achievements into place? You know, the actual storytelling aspect of the game. Now, before I get into some of the details, disclaimer, there will not be any spoilers regarding the overall story, plot twists, story beats, or anything like that, so don't worry. We're going spoiler-free, people. No need to send the Knights Templar after me or anything. Chill. The story in the sequel contains the story of Henry and his tale of not only discovery, but his vengeance as well by picking right up where the first game left off. But don't worry, even if you haven't played the original, it's totally fine because you get an extended intro that helps fill in on what you missed. So even if you're a newcomer with no prior knowledge, you will be all caught up in a matter of minutes with no problem at all. Although it's lacking a previously on Kingdom Come Deliverance TV-like delivery, but hey, we can't win them all, so this will have to do. But other areas we as players win at in this game is in regards to the overall dialogue. With what was previously noted as feeling a little outdated in that department with the previous entry, now though has become way more polished. And with that, it makes each character interaction in the game feel more meaningful by either setting up a narrative or part of a story that blends a mix of content to make you laugh with its humor or intensifies a serious situation with unfolding drama that continues to riddle Henry's brain on his explorative journey. This approach taken for the narrative storytelling, alongside 5 hours of cutscenes, makes the game feel much more dynamic with the way it presents itself by allowing NPCs to react to the player in a more believable fashion, and makes the world itself feel like a living, breathing medieval tapestry, which, in turn, makes it feel like a truly realized AAA game. Which all this is based off of the first 5 hours of your journey, so who knows what else is in store for you? I mean, I know of course, but I won't say, so meh. In the visual department, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 is definitely a significant upgrade from the first game, which is great because I love immersive worlds set in medieval times, and honestly, I feel we don't get enough of them. So to actually see one like this, with environments that are not only larger than what you expected, but way more detailed and vibrant, with certain cities having a decor of Gothic-like architecture compared to other areas that may seem a bit more rural, it just sets a tone of the scale of this world and manages to optimize scale with performance to offer a smooth play experience without the downfall seen in the first game with the technical issues it had. So that in and of itself is a big achievement that should be applauded and praised. What can you expect from the final release? When all is said and done, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 is shaping up to live up to the vision that Warhorse Studios most likely dreamt up when taking on this project. With thrilling combat, an immersive world in the medieval era, core elements from the first game that fans loved retaining their essence, expanding the world to feel larger than life, making the game more accessible to players without it feeling dumbed down to the point where it's unrecognizable from what made the series great in the first place, stunning details and lands to explore, upgraded perk and skill system, etc., etc. It's all shaping up to be something special and a much-needed dive into the RPG medieval genre. Once again, this all pertains to the first 5 hours or so of gameplay, so who knows what else lurks in the depths of this world and what twists and turns the story may take us. But you can find all that out for yourself by purchasing the game when it launches on February 4th on PlayStation 5, Steam, Xbox Series, and Epic Game Store.